Whitney Houston was one of the greatest voices in music history, but behind her fame, she fought a long and painful battle with addiction. On February 11, 2012, just hours before the Grammy Awards, Whitney was staying at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. She was preparing for Clive Davis's famous pre-Grammy party, an event she attended every year. But that afternoon, tragedy struck. Whitney was found unresponsive in her hotel bathtub. Emergency crews rushed in, but it was too late. She was pronounced dead at 48 years old. The official investigation revealed she died from accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as major contributing factors. Drug residue was found in the room, showing she had relapsed after years of struggling with substance abuse. Her death shocked the world. Fans mourned. The Grammys turned into a tribute filled with tears. And once again, Hollywood's pressure and addiction battles were pushed into the spotlight. Whitney Houston's life ended too soon, but her voice, her music, and her legacy remain timeless.
Second on the list, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was one of the most influential entertainers the world has ever known. But behind the fame, he struggled with insomnia, pressure, and years of emotional stress. On June 25, 2009, emergency calls came from his Los Angeles home. Michael was found unconscious in his bedroom, not breathing. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but after over an hour of attempts, he was pronounced dead at just 50 years old. The world was stunned. Millions cried. News headlines dominated every screen on the planet. But the truth that followed was even more shocking. Michael Jackson died from acute propofol intoxication, a powerful anesthetic normally used in hospitals. His personal doctor, Conrad Murray, had been giving him the drug to help him sleep, something never meant to be used at home. The combination of propofol and sedatives in his system proved fatal. The investigation ruled the death a homicide, and Dr. Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Michael's passing exposed the extreme pressures of stardom and the dangers of medical misuse. Though his life ended in tragedy, Michael Jackson's legacy remains eternal through his music, his videos, and his impact on the world.
Mac Miller was one of the most gifted voices of his generation, a rapper, singer, and producer whose music evolved from party anthems to deep emotional storytelling. But behind the creativity, he struggled with addiction, depression, and the pressures of fame. On September 7, 2018, emergency services were called to his home in Studio City, California. Mac was found unresponsive in his bedroom. Despite attempts to save him, he was pronounced dead at just 26 years old. The world was shocked. Fans, friends, and artists across the industry mourned the loss of a rising icon. But the truth that emerged made the tragedy even heavier. Mac Miller died from an accidental overdose caused by a deadly mix of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. Investigators later discovered that the pills he thought were oxycodone were actually counterfeit tablets laced with fentanyl, a drug far more potent than heroin. Several people were later charged in connection with supplying the fake pills. Mac had openly spoken about his battles with substance abuse, using music as an outlet for pain and confusion. His final album, Swimming, released just a month before his death, hinted at both his struggles and his search for peace. Mac Miller's life ended far too soon.
Heath Ledger was one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars, a gifted actor whose performances carried depth far beyond his years. From Brokeback Mountain to The Dark Knight, his talent was undeniable, and his future seemed limitless. But behind the success, Heath struggled with insomnia, stress, and the pressure of intense roles. In the months before his death, friends said he could barely sleep, often relying on prescription medications just to rest. On January 22, 2008, tragedy struck. Heath was found unresponsive in his New York City apartment by a housekeeper and a masseuse who had arrived for an appointment. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Heath Ledger was pronounced dead at just 28 years old. The autopsy revealed a heartbreaking truth. Heath died from an accidental overdose caused by a lethal combination of prescription medications, including painkillers, sleeping pills, and anti-anxiety drugs. It wasn't intentional, It was a dangerous mix of medications taken while he was exhausted, overwhelmed, and desperately trying to sleep. His death shocked the world. Hollywood mourned a once-in-a-generation talent, and just months later, fans watched his legendary performance as the Joker, a role that earned him a posthumous Academy Award. Heath Ledger's life ended too soon.
Amy Winehouse was a once-in-a-generation talent, a soulful voice, a fearless songwriter, and an artist who blended jazz, R&B, and blues like no one else. But behind the powerful music, Amy struggled with addiction, mental health battles, and the overwhelming pressure of sudden global fame. By 2011, her struggle with alcohol had become public and painful. Friends and family hoped she was recovering, but her journey was filled with relapses. She had paused her career, stopped touring, and stayed mostly inside her London home. Then, on July 23, 2011, tragedy struck. Police and paramedics were called to Amy's Camden residence. Inside her bedroom, she was found unresponsive. Efforts to revive her failed, and Amy Winehouse was pronounced dead at just 27 years old. The autopsy revealed the cause. Amy died from alcohol poisoning, with a blood alcohol level more than 5 times the legal driving limit. After a period of sobriety, she had suddenly resumed drinking heavily, a dangerous pattern that overwhelmed her body. Her death was ruled accidental. The world mourned deeply. Fans gathered outside her home with candles, photos, and handwritten letters. Her music, especially Back to Black, became a symbol of raw truth and vulnerability.
Brittany Murphy was one of Hollywood's most beloved young actresses, bright, energetic, and unforgettable in films like Clueless, 8 Mile, and Just Married. But behind the bubbly screen presence, her life in the final years grew increasingly chaotic, filled with stress, illness, and deep personal struggles. On December 20th, 2009, emergency services were called to the Los Angeles home she shared with her husband and mother. Brittany had collapsed in the bathroom. Paramedics rushed her to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but after hours of attempts, she was pronounced dead at just 32 years old. The world was stunned. How could someone so young and full of life die so suddenly? The autopsy revealed that Brittany died from pneumonia, worsened by severe anemia and multiple prescription medications found in her system, all legal but dangerously combined. The death was ruled accidental, yet the unusual circumstances raised questions that fans and investigators still talk about today. Shockingly, just 5 months later, her husband Simon Monjack died in the same house from the same cause, pneumonia and anemia, fueling endless speculation and conspiracy theories. Brittany Murphy's life ended far too soon.
Juice WRLD, born Gerard Anthony Higgins, was one of the brightest young stars in hip-hop, a talent known for turning raw emotion into melodic rap hits like Lucid Dreams and Robbery. But behind the fame, he struggled with long-term substance use that often appeared in his lyrics. On December 8, 2019, Juice WRLD landed at Chicago's Midway Airport with friends and security. Federal agents were waiting to search his private jet, acting on a tip about drugs and weapons on board. As police moved in, Juice WRLD reportedly swallowed several pills in an attempt to hide them. Moments later, he went into a severe seizure. Paramedics rushed him to a nearby hospital, but he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The Cook County Medical Examiner ruled his death an accidental overdose caused by oxycodone and codeine toxicity. He was only 21 years old. Juice WRLD's passing highlighted the silent battle many young artists face: the pressure, the pain, and the dangerous escape found in drugs. His music continues to inspire millions, but his story remains a tragic reminder of how quickly addiction can claim a life. Lil Peep, born Gustav Elijah Orr, was one of the most influential voices in emo rap, blending punk, emo, and hip-hop with a raw honesty that connected deeply with his fans. His music often reflected his inner battles: depression, heartbreak, and heavy drug use. On November 15, 2017, during his tour stop in Tucson, Arizona,
Peep was found unresponsive on his tour bus shortly before a scheduled performance. Hours earlier, he had posted videos on social media showing himself taking pills. Despite attempts to revive him, emergency responders declared him dead at the scene. The medical examiner later confirmed that Lil Peep died from an accidental overdose caused by a deadly combination of fentanyl and alprazolam, Xanax. He was just 21 years old. Lil Peep's death shocked the music world and sparked conversations about mental health, addiction, and the dangers of counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. Though his career was short, his influence changed an entire generation of artists, and his legacy continues to grow long after his tragic passing.
Marilyn Monroe, one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, was known for her beauty, charm, and unforgettable roles. But behind the glamorous image was a woman struggling with depression, anxiety, and a dependency on prescribed medications. Monroe often battled insomnia and emotional turmoil, leading her to rely heavily on barbiturates and sedatives. On August 5, 1962, Monroe was found unresponsive in her Los Angeles home. Her housekeeper discovered her lying in bed with an empty bottle of pills nearby. Emergency responders arrived, but it was too late. She was pronounced dead at age 36. The official cause of death was listed as acute barbiturate poisoning, ruled a probable suicide. However, the mysterious circumstances around her final hours sparked decades of speculation and conspiracy theories involving Hollywood, politics, and powerful figures. Despite her tragic end, Marilyn Monroe remains a timeless symbol of fame, vulnerability, and the pressures that come with stardom. Her story continues to remind the world that even the brightest stars can suffer in silence.